Hello and welcome to High Caliber TV, or source for figure and model updates every Wednesday and Friday. So today on the Workbench, I'm going to be taking a break from showing the Edelweiss. It's coming along really well though, and these are a couple of the single figures in 35th scale that I've been working on while all the plaster dries and all that. So this is a Cyborg Miniatures resin base, one of their fantastic. It's like a jungle deity, almost Buddhist, Hindu type temple ruin in, I guess it's for wargaming, but man, it looks fantastic for a 35th scale figure. This is the Bravo 6 MACV SOG operator with the carbine flash hider. These things are dope. And he's got a replacement head, also Bravo 6 gas masks. I'll be showing the box later. This was just such a cool project. I've been eyeing this figure up forever, and when I bought the replacement gas masks, I mean, I've never done a figure in a gas mask before, but nothing to me says metal like a dude, you know, stalking through the jungle in a gas mask. Whether or not it's practical, you know, that's sort of beside the point. The moss. This is a fantastic Andrea Miniatures plinth here, felt bottom. The wood grain these guys do is near unparalleled. I mean, it's just amazing. Then we've got 2 layers of cork, just standard stuff. It's crumbled on the edges to make it look random. The resin base here, the thing, because this is designed for a wargaming thing, it's actually got a smooth, rounded edge down here that I covered up. But the way I covered all this up and made the moss is I just did my wood glue water trick and then applied 2 types of flock over it, I think. I think it was just the 2. But made it so it looked more just sort of bushy rather than like wood or stone. And then went to it with the couple of types of green, a lot of Citadel green actually, straight out of the pot. They do some really cool, very vibrant greens, and I knew I wanted it. I knew I wanted to go past where I thought was a good sort of medium green, because I wanted it to look really vibrant, in contrast with him and his sort of drab equipment. Sling is made out of lead foil. Again, his goggle lenses there, you can see there's a little bit of depth to them. Not sure if it comes out in the camera, but that's just lay him when he was all sealed in, laid him on his side like this so his goggles were facing up, and then very patiently worked in Pledge Future floor wax. That stuff is a modeler's, you know, every modeler knows that thing has so many uses. But you just sort of layer it in. It, of course, is self-leveling, so you get this beautiful sheen. You can see a little bit of depth with the layers there. I think there's 3 layers there, so it makes it look a little deep. And of course, the lenses themselves were sunken because they have a rim around them, which allowed the pooling to really be able to be built up. And yeah, very cool stuff. He looks dope. I'm so happy with the way he turned out. And like I said, I've been eyeing this figure for quite a while. So yeah. On to the next one. This is another figure I've been desperately meaning to do. He's just such a perfect pose. And oddly enough, my first Stalingrad figure, High Caliber Miniatures has had Stalingrad for a couple of years, and I want to say 2013 is when we started stocking them. And I've always had my eye on a couple of their figures, but when they released their World War I German tank crew, I knew this guy, I had to have him. He's so arrogant looking. He's got that giant C96 on his hip, ceremonial dagger, and his walking cane riding crop thing there for directing the masses. The base, I guess, is also sort of something that's a bit of a highlight for this figure. I knew that I didn't want him to just be standing on a roadway or in a field, even though that's probably what a lot of officers were standing in for a lot of the war. I know that it wasn't just trenches, but I knew I wanted him to be on some duck boards. So these are, oddly enough, this is from a company that I think is now defunct. These are the components that make up an 88mm German Second World War shell box. And this company was amazing. I cannot for the life of me find them anymore, but they just laser print on all the markings like it would actually be on the wood. And of course you can't see any of that because I'm using the reverse sides, but it also has, since it's actual just plywood or balsa wood, it's got its own like grain and sort of roughness to it, and it's got the plank marks in it already. So I mean, it was just perfect. I sort of scored some of the edges here to make them look a little bit rough. The two types of leaves there are autumn leaves from MIG, I want to say. MIG, maybe? MIG ammo? Yeah. Then there's a layer of cork there, of course, to make it look like earth. And then some tea and two types of flock around here to give it that churned Western Front look. The plinth here, another amazing plinth. This is from Heroes and Villains out of Spain. I mean, these guys, their plinths are just amazing. Really fantastic stuff. And I'm also, funnily enough, happy with the way he turned out. The red is insignia red, but it also got a couple of very generous coats after the fact with a Citadel Glaze bloodletter. This stuff, if you're ever doing reds, yellows, things that are going to look richer than they have right to look in the field, that's what you want to apply, because it gives it a bit of depth, really brings out the richness, and there you go. Really happy with this guy too. And now, the one that I'm working on right now is sort of a departure gas mask, because I loved how the MacV guy looked when he turned out. I just had to do this. This is a Alpine with 35th scale DAK tanker, and in typical Alpine fashion, stylish as all hell. The way that the wind is pulling his greatcoat and his scarf to the side, I think is just amazing. And then I wanted to continue that theme with this. It's supposed to be like a barbed wire post that's got a sort of a pennant on it. I haven't decided what color I want to do the pennant on, but with my trusty color wheel, I'll find something that makes it complementary, or contrasting as the case may be. And this is of course made out of lead foil, so it's still malleable. This is just brass rod. The base is sort of complicated to describe because you can't really tell what's in it right now, which is the point, but I have just no end of photo etch frets from trumpeter kits, dragon stuff, primarily the Rook from Industria Mechanica. It had all of these really funky looking grills that I just never ended up using, or they were spares, I can't recall. But it's got grills with sharp vents, grills with rounded vents. Bent them up, disformed them, and put them in, and then layered on rock, flock, tea, stuff like that. Over top, of course, you guessed it, this is 2 layers of cork. And he's actually standing on a really cool little base, another one for wargaming, but this one is like an industrial sort of setting, so there's like, you can see like a little cog there. He's standing on a grill, there's a pipe on there, I guess. It's just this little resin base that I blended in with earth onto the rest of it. It's supposed to look like he's standing on a junk pile, and that's why it's all blocked in with German primer red. And his jacket there, or his greatcoat, is a 2-to-1 blend of Vallejo Model Air, German green, and interior green. So yeah, just the blocking phase now. This is a Bravo 6 Ruck live resin radio, live resin M16 with a 203 and an ACOG. And then it's got spare 203 bulbs fitted onto the straps. That all the straps are made out of lead foil, and they're all sort of weighted down. I used this little trick that I just discovered. I used this, this is just a old brush, and when you get the lead foil, it's gonna be a little janky because it'll take its own shape depending on what you've done with it. So you can get this and pull it down very gently, and that gives it a really, really beautiful sag to, you know, especially when you want to mate it to a ground. You can just sag the straps down so that they're laying flat on the ground. Yeah, so this guy is well on the way. Again, another Heroes and Villains plinth. Love them. I'm gonna run out eventually, but yeah. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Check us out at highcaliberminiatures.com. Links in the description. Follow us on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and we occasionally do stuff on Twitter. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.